Hey guys! Today we have a very different book. This one kind of was a surprise. So I found this at the DI for $1, Five Children and It. And the cover looked kind of interesting. I was like, what? Okay, so I looked at this book. I was looking for something that my son would read who didn't want to read. And on the back, this is what it says. Be careful what you wish for, you may get it. That's what happens for five children when they decide to dig a hole through the earth to see if the people on the other side walk upside down. They don't get very far though before they uncover an ancient sand fairy. At least that's what the youngsters called him, even though his correct name is Samiad. And what a bizarre creature he is, with bat ears and a tubby body, furry arms and legs, and eyes that move in and out like telescopes. Obliged to grant children their desires, because that's what sand fairies do. This oddity from another time and a place warns the catch. Witches come undone at sunset, and if they're not planned carefully, there could be some very serious problems. Anyway, so I thought, okay, this sounds interesting. So I got it for my son. He didn't want to read it. I'm like, okay, fine, we're going to read it as a family. So we made it our next family reading book. And we read through this, and it was kind of like, you can see the pages, like the text is kind of small and all the way to the edge, and it's kind of like not really engaging with pictures and things like this, but it was a little bit tricky to read. Like the grammar and stuff in it was a little bit harder, and I was like, oh, I don't know that I'll read this again. Like, I'm kind of liking the story, but it's kind of been frustrating with the way that it's written, right? And then I decided to check it out, and I looked at the beginning, and this book was published in 1902. So there's a difference in your mentality when you have a greater awareness, and I was amazed at this. I was like, okay, so I was annoyed by this book at first with the grammar. And then, instead of being annoyed with it, when I realized it was written in 1902, this is a different copy. This one was published, in London, 1902. And then it was published, when was this one done? Republished. First published 2002. Written in 1902. Or was published. Anyways, it's old. It's an old book. So the deal was, it was really old. And so instead of that, we were looking at it from the frame of, what do we learn about London in 1902? What do we learn about what life was like in London? What do we learn about the way that people talked? And the different words meant different things. And so we used this as a learning experience, and it was really cool. And then we discovered that it was made into a movie, and it's actually a BBC series. You can look it up on YouTube. And there's a BBC series, and it's totally like set in the 1900s. So it's more of a kind of a history lesson, definitely not a grammar one, but we enjoyed the book. So if you want to check it out, The Five Children and It has some pretty funny stories for what these kids wish for and what happens to them because of it, and provokes lots of awesome conversation and foreshadowing and talking to kids about, oh, what do you think is going to happen? What would you do in this situation? And all of these type of things. So I recommend this book, The Five Children and It, mostly for what you're going to learn about 1902 and about the way things are written and the way life was. It was such a simpler time. So check it out, Five Children and It. I'll post a link up or down or in the comments. Okay, bye.